Welcome to the deep dive. We take complex stuff, break it down, and give you the insights you need quickly.
And today we've got a fascinating one, almost like a statistical puzzle.
Yeah, it really is. We're looking at one specific football match, Brentford versus Manchester United, coming up September 27th.
Right. But here's the thing. Our data analysis team ran the numbers using two different AI models we developed in-house. And the results, well, they were completely contradictory.
Seriously contradictory. We have SmartBet AI, our established model. It crunched the numbers, ran its ensemble, and predicted a clear away win for Manchester United. Pretty high scoring, too.
And then same match, same base data. We used our new model, SPECTRA AI, and Spectra.
Yeah.
It was just as confident, but predicted a solid home win for Brentford.
A total flip. So our mission today is to figure out why, what changed inside the models to make one see a Man U victory and the other see Brentford taking it.
It really comes down to two core structural changes in Spectra. First, much richer feature engineering, basically, more detailed data inputs. But the really fundamental shift, the big one, is the underlying math, moving from what's called univariate Poisson regression to a bivariate Poisson model.
Right, let's start there then, with the math. Because you said the old system, SmartBet, had a kind of fundamental flaw.
Well, flaw might be strong, but a limitation. SmartBet uses univariate Poisson. It's standard, pretty good for counting, rare events like goals. But it treats the home team's goals and the away team's goals as totally separate things, independent.
So SmartBet thought Man United scoring had absolutely zero mathematical connection to Brentford scoring, like they're playing in different dimensions.
Exactly. It calculates an expected goals number for the home team, let's call it lambda 1, and another for the away team, lambda 2. And the final score prediction is just multiplying those two independent chances.
It assumes the teams operate in these little offensive and defensive bubbles.
Which, isn't really how football works.
But hold on, SmartBet has been pretty reliable for us. If that independence assumption was so off, why did it even work before?
That's a good question. Mostly because other factors, strong features like ELO ratings, which both models use, by the way, and basic form metrics, they often carry enough weight to get you close, especially in more predictable matches.
Oh, okay.
But when a match gets tight, or it's heavily influenced by tactics, injuries, specific game states, that independence assumption really starts to hurt the prediction.
And that's where Spectra's upgrade comes in. It introduces this idea of connection.
Correlation.
You got it. Spectra uses bivariate Poisson. And the crucial difference is it adds a third intensity parameter. We call it lambda 3.
Lambda 3. Okay, so what does that one do? Is it like the match vibe factor?
That's a great way to put it, actually. Yeah. Think of lambda 3 as capturing shared match-level influences. Things like the pace of the game, how open or defensive it is, maybe even just random factors that affect both teams' scoring chances at the same time.
So it acknowledges that goals don't happen in a vacuum. If it's a wild end-to-end game, both teams are probably more likely to score. If it's a cagey defensive slog, then both teams' chances go down together. Exactly. Lambda 3 models that shared element, that correlation. Spectra recognizes these systemic dynamics that SmartBet just ignored.
That feels like a huge change structurally, but like you said, the math needs good data. So phase 2, the features. What's Spectra eating that SmartBet wasn't?
Right, so both models use a solid base. ELO ratings, XG metrics, basic team form, injury lists, home advantage stuff, and both use stacking ensembles combining models like random forest, XGBoost, neural nets for robustness.
Standard procedure.
But Spectra, in its latest version, got a major feature expansion. We added a lot more context.
Okay, like what? What specifically might have mattered for this Brentford Man U prediction?
We really beefed up 3 areas. First, form and schedule, but more granularly. Not just wins, losses, but rolling points per game over the last 5, form delta, comparing recent trajectory.
It gives you that momentum picture.
Exactly. Second, physical factors. This is a big add. Detailed rest days for each team, flags for congested schedules, shortest metrics.
Okay. How tired the teams might be.
Precisely. And third, discipline and efficiency. Things like weighted red and yellow cards adjusted for goals scored and updated XG differentials. More nuanced stuff.
And you mentioned one other key thing earlier, market awareness.
Yes, that's right. Spectra now incorporates implied probabilities from betting odds, IMFOM, imp draw, imp away.
Does that mean it just copies the betting markets?
No, not at all. It doesn't tell the model what to predict. It's more like giving the model context on what the general market thinks. It helps calibrate the model, keeps it grounded, you could say.
Okay, so better map the bivariate model with lambda 3 fed by better, more contextual data like rest days and discipline. Now let's see the result for this match. Context. Man U missing Casemiro due to a red card, Martinez with the knee injury.
Key players out, especially defensively. Now, look at the raw expected goals from the models. SmartBet, the old univariate one, predicted Brentford home goals, 2.14, but Manchester United away goals, 3.55.
Whoa, 3.55 expected goals for United. That's huge. That screams dominant away win.
A predicted blowout, essentially. Now, Spectra, with the bivariate model and richer features, predicted home goals, 1.65. Predicted away goals, 1.41.
Wow, that's completely different. From 3.55 down to 1.41 for United, that's over 2 goals wiped off the expectation.
And it shifts the whole narrative. Spectra sees a tight, low-scoring match with maybe a slight edge to Brentford at home.
Okay, wait. How did those new features, rest days, discipline, the injuries, interact with the new math to cause such a drastic swing? Did Spectra somehow know that losing Casemiro was extra bad because it predicted a tighter game?
You're hitting the nail on the head. That's exactly the kind of interaction the bivariate model enables. SmartBet, assuming independence, just saw Man U's overall attacking strength and figured it would overwhelm Brentford, even with absences, hence 3.55 XG.
Right.
But Spectra, possibly because of those missing players or Brentford's recent form, its Lambda 3.3 likely indicated a tighter, more correlated game, a lower scoring affair.
A lower Lambda 3.3 signaling more of a grind.
Exactly. And once the model anticipates a grind, those new features become critical. Missing key defensive personnel like Casemiro and Martinez, that suddenly looks much worse if you expect a close, physical battle, not an open shootout. The model effectively penalizes Man U's lack of depth in that specific game context.
The discipline flags might also weigh heavier in a tight game where one mistake matters more.
Precisely. The old model, assuming independence, just couldn't make those connections. Couldn't see how the type of game predicted would change the impact of the features.
So when these initial goal expectations were fed into the final ensemble models,
The difference was stark. SmartBet's consensus, combining all its submodels, was firmly away win.
okay.
Spectra's final stacked prediction, home win probability, 60.05%, draw, 29.19%, and away win, only 10.75%.
60% confidence for a home win after the old model predicted a clear away win. That's a massive swing. Did you guys double check that? How did Spectra validate this?
Good question. Standard practice is Monte Carlo simulation. We basically have Spectra play out the match thousands of times based on its learned probabilities.
Okay.
We ran 10,000 simulations. The results backed up the main prediction strongly. 60,053 outcomes were home wins, 2,900 were draws, and only 147 were away wins. Right around that 60% mark.
And what were the most common scores in those simulations?
The top predicted score lines were 2-1 to Brentford, happening about 9.2% of the time, and 1-1 about 9.0%. So again, reinforcing that idea of a narrow, hard-fought home victory.
It's fascinating how all this complex modeling, bivariate Poisson, Lambda 3, it boils down to figuring out if missing a couple of key guys makes a bigger difference in a close game versus an open game.
In essence, yes. But the crucial takeaway for you listening isn't just more data is better, although the richer features helped. The truly critical step was changing the statistical assumption, moving from independent goals, univariate, to correlated goals, bivariate with Lambda 3.3. That change allowed the model to properly understand the context and the impact of those richer features, like rest and discipline, especially with key players missing. That's what flipped the prediction.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? We always chase more data, more features, but maybe the bigger breakthroughs come from rethinking the fundamental relationships between the data points we already have.
Exactly. What other areas, maybe in business forecasting or scientific research or even just understanding daily life, have seemingly independent factors that are actually linked by some hidden Lambda 3 line, some underlying context we haven't accounted for?
It's about understanding the system, not just the parts.
That's the deeper question, I think. How do things truly connect?
A really interesting thought to leave with. Okay, that wraps up this deep dive.
And just our usual reminder, everything discussed here, all the predictions and analysis, it's purely for informational and entertainment purposes. It's based on statistical models, not crystal balls.
Definitely not betting advice. Please always gamble responsibly.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.